I had a request to do a video on this topic where we have a mixed number, so this 15 and 11/16, it's got a whole number part and a fraction part, to try to convert that to a decimal, a terminating decimal. So the first thing I think about when I see 15 and 11/16 is that there are really two parts here that are added together. There's the 15 and there's the 11/16. So we can treat them as separate parts, do stuff to them, and then add them back together at the end, and it's still going to give us the right answer. So I'm going to think of these as two separate parts and convert each one to a decimal. Now 15, we don't actually have to do anything to. The decimal, we don't write it, but the decimal point is really right there. It's kind of hanging out right there. So that's our 15, done. The 11/16 part, well, 11 over 16 is 11 divided by 16. Any fraction is a division problem. So you could punch that into your calculator, get the decimal, and tack it on to the 15, add it to the 15, and you'd be done. If your teacher's not letting you use a calculator, I'm sorry for you, but we can do the long division. This is 11 divided by 16, so let's go ahead and set up a long division problem here. I'm going to put the decimal points in because we're definitely going to need it. And the first question is, how many 16s go into 11? Well, 16 is bigger than 11, so we need to think of this as like 110. So how many 16s in 110? And poof. So off the top of my head, I don't really know. I'm going to try a 7 and see if that works. So 7 times 6 would be 42. I'd put a 2 down here and a 4, and 7 plus times 1 plus 4 would be 11. That'd be too much. Okay, so just barely too much. So I think we have to start with a 6. Let's try that. 6 times 6 is 36. Put the 6 down there, the 3 up there. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 3 more is 9. Now let's go ahead and subtract. And so we're going to have to borrow here. So that becomes a 10. And all right, so we're going to have 1, and we're going to have 4. And now we have to figure out how many in 140. So let's see, let's try an 8. 6 times 8 is 48. And 8 times 1 plus 4 is 12. That'd be 128. Is that going to do it? Well, let's subtract, and if we get bigger than 16, we're in trouble. So I'm going to have to borrow there. That's a 2. That's a 1. Whoops, that's a 0. So I got 12. Good. All right, and then we're going to bring down another 0 and 16. How many in 120? Let's see, is that maybe a 7? Because the 8 was too big. Yeah, I think that's a 7. So 7 times 6 is 42. And 7 times 1 plus 4 is 11. Okay, so now we're getting 8 here. How many 16s in 80? Boy, my goodness. Would that be 5 times 6 would be 30. Yeah, 5 times 6 would be 30. Put a 0 down there and a 3 there. 5 times 1 plus 3 is 8. Hey, we got to the end because that's a remainder of 0. Okay, so we did the long division. I didn't really talk in detail about the long division, so if you need some refreshers on the long division, go back and find a video about that. I've got several. So now this part is this, and we just put it together with the 15. So with 15, the decimal point's right here. There's the decimal point for the rest of it, so 6875, and that is your answer. Hope that helped.